Started out in a small town in the southern tier of New York State, worked his butt off in the restaurant industry for 13 years, and now flapping his gums off in the podcast world. Please welcome your host, Chef Michael Palmer.
Hi, this is Chef Mike, and welcome to the program. You know, this is our 9th episode, and we're just having a great old time coming to you weekly, and we have some breaking news coming up. But first, I gotta give some serious review about what we just ate here. It tastes like crap. But wait a minute. My awesome wife is sitting right beside me. Hey, babe, what's you cooking?
Much, baby.
You positive?
Yeah.
I missed you all week. Oh, wait. We love being around here and having fun, but, you know, the podcast world misses you. The social world misses you. We all miss you. She's looking at me crazy. Well, anyways, we have a full show on this podcast number 9. First, we have some breaking news coming out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Then the history of the week, the restaurant recalls, the restaurant news, food recalls. Awesome interview from Dog Holiday Sauces. Also, culinary term of the week, recipe of the week. A couple of blockbuster announcements. Then we have another interview with Robert Small about the food pyramid. A trivial question. Let me go ahead and just give you a heads up on it so y'all can study on it. When a breakfast joint calls for a 2 and 2, what does 2 and 2 mean? Your answer will be coming up. But let me go first to the breaking news. At least 3 people were injured after a car crash into the front of the Sushi Rock restaurant in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. The incident happened early Tuesday afternoon at the 1300 East Sunrise Boulevard. The driver of the Honda that went smashing through the front windows say some sort of a mechanical problem caused him to crash into the restaurant. Witnesses said there was at least 2 people on the floor that was injured, as everyone inside of the restaurant tried to get it out of the way. The driver was also limping. The cause of the crash is under investigation. I say the restaurant has a drive-thru now. What do you think?
I say.
Well, before our first advertisement, I got to give a serious review on a product that absolutely needs some attention. Now, my wife and I is pretty big fans of SpaghettiOs. The old-fashioned SpaghettiOs, the original. They came out with brand new flavors like pizza, cheeseburger, tacos, a couple others, but the taco tastes pretty good, but the cheeseburger, I really didn't taste the cheeseburger. It sucked bad, but the taco was
like regular SpaghettiOs.
Yeah.
It tastes like cheeseburger.
It's a waste of money. Don't get the cheeseburger or SpaghettiOs. Get the taco. The tacos taste like tacos.
Oh, yeah. Tasted just like you were eating a taco.
And those who has a sensitive stomach like I do with spices, the taco SpaghettiO will kind of keep you up during the night if you have a sensitive stomach to spices. That's a word of warning. The first advertisement is kind of important, but with that said, I gotta play that too. WhenIWork.com. Cheap and easy way to schedule your employees by their software. With the text message alerts, including all the emails, it'll alert your staff about their upcoming shifts. Also, the staff can request off using that software and some other features. Remember, the first 30 days is for free. Then after those 30 days, you have a choice of signing up, paying a price. It's cheap. Or you can keep at least up to 5 employees. Now, we guys here at the Culinary Post uses whenIwork.com. This great software. We love it. I know for sure you guys will love it. Again, that's wheniwork.com. This week in history, I promise I won't take a lot of y'all's time. I did not know about this one. June the 7th through the 14th, Dairy Goat Awareness Week. Bad. Coming up also, it's just started a few days ago, Men's Health Week. It ends on Father's Day, June the 9th through the 15th. Also, June the 14th is National Strawberry Shortcake Day and also Bourbon Day. So I have some strawberries on the bottom of my refrigerator, I think. Back in 1988, on the 14th, New Jersey students in a school were kept an extra 45 minutes by a 6-foot black bear that had wandered into the playground. It kept it at bay by tossing out the peanut butter sandwiches until the game warden arrived to take him away. Remember, coming up June the 15th is Father's Day. By the way, this episode, is dedicated to all the fathers out there, which is cool. So remember, episode 9 is dedicated to the Father's Day. Also, June the 15th is National Lobster Day. And back on the 1869, Joseph Dixon died. He was an American inventor and manufacturer. Among his many accomplishments, he produced the first pencil that was made in the United States of America. June the 16th is National Fudge Day. On the 17th is Eat Your Vegetables Day and the National Apple Strudel Day. June the 18th is National Cherry Tart Day and also International Picnic Day, International Sushi Day. June the 19th, back in 1978, the famous cat named Garfield that loves eating lasagna was brought into this world by a cartoonist named Jim Davis. So coming up on the 19th is Garfield's birthday. Back in 1987, on the 19th, Ben & Jerry ice cream was introduced with a new ice cream flavor, Cherry Garcia. Restaurant news, we have tons of restaurant news. Remember, please, whatever you do, please go back in the archives. Every day we try to update it. Our crew is working night and day, try to get you some reliable information. But first, due to the Father's Day, you can go to Wendy's and buy you a Frosty. 50 cents of each Frosty sold will be donated to the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption. That's Wendy's. The long-awaited chocolate chicken concept opened in the downtown Los Angeles on Wednesday, offering a wonderful, weird menu flavoring chocolate-infused fried chicken. Yuck. I don't know who he thought about that. I think that person was high on some weed or drunk off some... Well, I'm not going to go there. This is family-friendly. Sorry about that, guys. I don't think that restaurant's going to be open long because chocolate and chicken don't mix. The Pack House... I have some bad news for you, but there is some good news in this one. The Pack House Meats restaurant opened in Newport this January with an unusual all-meatball menu and even more unusual policy. The bad news is we cannot tip the servers who take your order or even bring the table. There are signs all over the property saying no tipping is allowed. Also, on the credit cards receipts, there is no line for a tip. The pack house servers earn $10 an hour, or also a 20% of their individual food sales per shift, whichever is the largest, almost or always to 20%. Now, the servers have met the criteria goals sales service targets, for example, they will get their 20%. So that's their tip. Also coming up on Father's Day, Aurora's restaurant has free food for all the dads this Father's Day in the most manly environment on the earth. The Harrisburg-based award-winning full-service casual restaurant and bar is letting all the dads eat free this Father's Day at all 8 of its locations in central Pennsylvania. According to the National Restaurant Association, the Father's Day is the 3rd most popular day to dine out, including that's Mother's Day and Valentine's Day. Take the honor respectively. To no surprise, with more than 100 big screen TVs, a national award-winning wings, and a huge selection of draft beers, Father's Day is the biggest non-sport holiday of the year for August. The San Francisco may soon join Seattle. Here's another. San Francisco may soon join Seattle in becoming the next major city to raise minimum wage to $15 an hour. I gotta stop right there for a second. I'm gonna open my mouth for the first time on this. Minimum wage was only set for high school students or those in college. Okay, minimum wage you're not supposed to stay with for the rest of your life. Even though you might like the job, if you want a higher pay, your best bet is just going to college. I have several degrees myself, have a good paying job, but you know what? Minimum wage is something not to play with. That's for high school students and for college students that is in college. If you want to stay with that job, getting paid minimum wage, then stop complaining. Not everything's going to float your way. I mean, if you want $15 an hour, go to college, get you a degree, then go get your $15 an hour. Quit being so darn greedy for your minimum wage. That's all I'm going to say. Food recalls. There was a bunch of food recalls. I'm just going to name a few. Fruitland American Meat, a Jackson, Missouri establishment, is recalling approximately 4,000 pounds of fresh beef products because of the dorsal root ganglia may not have been completely removed, which is not compliant with the agency regulations that require the removal and a cattle with 30 months of age or older. The United States Department of Agriculture, Food and Safety and Inspection Services announced it over the week. The Wegmans Food Markets Incorporated is voluntarily recalling Wegmans ice in an 18-pound bag. The UPC code is 7789029200 in a 7-pound bag, and the UPC is 7789299197. So between the dates of January the 1st through the June the 10th of 2014. The recall has also been because there was some metal pieces from a broken part in a machine that produces the ice, and mainly is going to cause a choking hazard. So return those bags to your store. The one on the news we were covering, which was on the national news on Fox and CNN, about the old-fashioned sponge candy. Ellen's Candies Incorporated is volunteering recalling the dark old-fashioned sponge candy because of the product contains the undeclared milk. People who have the allergy of severe sensitivity to milk will run into a risk of life-threatening allergic reaction if they consume the product. This recall reflects all dates and all products listed below a Best Buy date prior to June 1st, 2015. The recipe of the week, which is my favorite one. What do you think? Pretty good, huh? Garlic Parmesan monkey bread. 10 servings. Now listen up, guys. 3 tablespoons of finely chopped green onions, 3 tablespoons of parsley, 1 1/2 teaspoons garlic powder, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 5 tablespoons of butter that is melted, 2 eggs, 2 1-pound loaves of frozen bread dough that is thawed, and 1/2 cup of Parmesan cheese. I'm going to post this on our website coming on next week. So with the directions, grease a 10-inch bundt pan or a tube pan. We always use tubes around here. I think it's more easier to work with, in my opinion. In a medium bowl, mix together the green onion, parsley, garlic powder, salt, pepper, eggs until well blended. Break the dough off in some walnut-sized pieces and dip each piece onto the egg mixture. Place the coated dough balls into the prepared pan, and once there is a layer of balls covering the bottom of the pan, you need to sprinkle it with Parmesan cheese. Repeat sprinkling each layer with cheese until everything in the pan is done. Cover loosely and let it rise until it doubles in size, about maybe 45 minutes. Preheat the oven to 350 degrees, then bake for 30 minutes until the preheated oven or until golden brown. What I like to do is preheat the oven first before we do anything else because I just like to do it. What's best for business. Here's one of the blockbuster announcements that were that's kind of urgent, but it is a blockbuster. I don't know if you guys remember, we had forums before we even started the podcast, but the forums is coming back soon. What we're going to have on it is your recipes. I'm going to be teaching on it. We're going to do all kind of stuff on it. We're going to be asking, y'all going to be asking questions that we're going to be answering on the forum. We're just going to be there for you. So it's coming back soon. So the reason why we took off the forums for a little while is we wanted to get the podcast going for at least the first season. So it's coming back soon. Maybe on the second season, the forums will be back. Also, there is something bigger, and we need your help on this one. So please pay attention because it's very important. Take a listen. Hi, my name is Chef Mike Palmer. You might know me as your host of the Culinary Post, plus your chief editor over at the Culinarypost.info. What we are planning to do is we want to go professional on live stream and on YouTube. With that said, guys, we need your help. We are a non-profit organization, and anything that we make goes directly to charity. If you donate money, it goes to charity. But with that said, we need equipment. Yes, I said it right. We need equipment to do what we do professional. We want to get in the TriCaster world, video cameras, and everything else. So with that said, I'm going to give you a very brief slide presentation right now. You need a TriCaster in order to make things happen for you with the 2 monitors and with the keyboard down there. We just want to make us look very professional for you guys so we can get more sponsors and donations. So with that said, the TriCaster also does the social media stuff for us and everything else. So we do need the TriCaster. Now on the web you can search for the TriCaster Studio, which is least expensive, but of course we needed 2 monitors with the keyboard down here in order to work the TriCaster. With that said, we need 4 cameras with tripods. Again, 4 cameras with tripods to make this look professional. Also, we need a teleprompter with tripod. We just want to provide you the right information during the broadcast. If you want to hear us during the broadcast, we need a soundboard, or some people call it a sound mixer. We need at least a 6 to 7 channel soundboard or sound mixer. Also, we need time mics. We need at least 4 of those. Alrighty, that's all we need at this given time. So with all that said, we definitely need your help and your support to become a sponsor or be a partnership with us or just donate equipment. Please email us at chefmikepalmer@gmail.com or email my awesome wife, my co-host for the show, Chef Morgan Palmer @gmail.com. We definitely need the equipment to broadcast professional for you, and since we want to go, eventually out in the airwaves, we definitely need your help. Please consider it, and we want to thank you in advance as much as you can donate. Y'all have a great day, and I will see you next time on the Culinary Post podcast. Yes, please consider it. We do need your help. Coming up on the phone, we have on the phone Raymond from Holiday Sauces. I highly recommend this sauce to everyone. We're going to tell you how you can get your hands on this sauce during the interview. But first, and by the way, what we were talking about is our TV station that we want to go live on for the podcast and also for the other stuff that we're doing. So if you can help out in any way, if you can donate to TriCaster, please do it. We just want to go live with y'all. But there is another blockbuster announcement I've been thinking about lately, so we're going to tell you by the end of this program. But Raymond's been holding on the phone for a little bit, so we're going to get to him. But first, DollarShave.com, my good friends there. Dollar Shave Club really couldn't be simpler. Alrighty, let me tell you why. You can select one of their great razors, pay one low monthly fee, and they're going to send them right to your front door. No more overpaying for your fancy brand name shave blades, and you won't be able to forget to buy your blades anymore. DollarShave.com sends the high quality razors to your front door for only a few bucks a month. Under $10 really. On some cheapies. But you can always shave with a fresh blade. 2 words to memorize. Satisfaction guaranteed. Again, that's DollarShave.com. Shave time. Shave money. Anyways, here's the interview with Holiday Sauces. It's a pretty good interview with Raymond. I personally tested the sauce from Holiday Sauces. So on the phone I have Raymond. What's up, Raymond?
I'm pretty good, Chef. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, and thank you for setting some time from your busy schedule. I know you're all busy around there.
Yeah, my pleasure. My pleasure.
Can you please tell us your story about how you got started and what you told me over Twitter, $200 to start with. Can you tell us about that one story?
Sure. Goes back roughly 5 years, right around when the Great Recession hit. Couldn't find any work. I've been in the wholesale grocery and manufacturing business since I could walk. My family had the largest dairy distribution in southeastern Michigan for a number of years, so I've been in the business my entire life. But I couldn't find a job, so we took the last $200 I had. We rented an office in downtown Pontiac, Michigan for $150 a month. The landlord gave us a desk and a chair, and I went out and bought some cheap phones at Radio Shack, and myself and my fiancée, Joycelyn, decided we were going to become food brokers. So I started perusing the internet, so I found a line of products I wanted to represent, contacted the manufacturer, worked out a contract with him, and just started dialing distributors in Michigan, Indiana, Ohio, bordering states. Landed us a distributor. Got going really well with that one. Landed two more, one in Indiana and one in California. And lo and behold, I don't think I told you this part, Jeff, everything was going phenomenal. We had all three distributors buying by the truckload, had them on credit terms, and my fiancée isn't as trusting a person as I am, and she kept telling me to be careful because the orders kept getting bigger, bigger, and bigger. My statement to her was, hey, they're paying their bills. They've established their credit with us. I'm not concerned. Not 2 weeks after that, two of the distributors went belly up.
Oh, wow.
Leaving us holding the bag for roughly $500,000 to the manufacturers. So, panic. We went into a panic mode, and the manufacturer himself was actually in a trademark infringement battle. Not only did the distributors leave us high and dry, but the manufacturer also caused us some issues, and cost us a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
We went into panic mode, contacted some of the manufacturers that were doing co-packing for the line we were representing, and I told them what I wanted. I said, you know what? I want all natural steak sauce. I don't want any caramel coloring, no artificial anything in it. Him and I worked on that formula for 2 years until it was exactly where I wanted it. I designed that label that's on the bottom myself, and that's our story stuff, Mike. That's how we got $200 in our pocket. Became extremely large, and then we were knocked from our throne in a matter of minutes. But
oh yeah, and I love the label. I mean, I had to look at it a couple of times. I'm like, man, this is very professional. And, on the back of the label, I saw the contents. I'm like, all right, he's at the par. All righty. Because, the new rules in the FDA and everywhere else, we have to put down, as food handlers, we have to put down the, all the percentage, all the contents, whatever. And I'm like, this is cool. He's up to par, and I love it. So I want to thank you so much for that. And I'm just, like I told you before we even push record, and I'm going to tell the listeners this. I highly recommend this one sauce to each and every one of y'all. We don't care how many bottles you get, but this dude I'm talking to over the phone, named Raymond, knows what the heck he's doing. And I'm going to say that in a clean way. It's a family-friendly show, but Raymond knows what he's doing. So, with that said, please buy y'all a bottle. I mean, do what it takes. Raymond, before we also got in push record, you said something about restaurants. Y'all about to break into restaurants. Can you give us a little teaser, or let's just bust the seams wide open? Can you talk about the restaurants?
Yeah, we we've come up with an advertising program for the restaurants. Needless to say, right now, we're anywhere between $10 to $12 cheaper per case than A1, and that's delivered to your door. Now, the program we've come up with, we're asking each restaurant to purchase 4 cases to start with. And we're asking them to keep a bottle on every table and their booths so that, and you know this, Chef Mike,
Yeah.
if the product is sitting there, people are going to try it. So I got it into my head, all right, we need to figure out how to get these restaurants to leave it out on the table, because normally you guys keep it in the back, and if a customer asks for it, you bring it out to them. Well, I need the recognition, so I came up with this advertising program. Buy the 4 cases, and then 3 cases the next month, 3 cases the next month, 3 cases the next month, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to saturate zip codes of the establishment's choice with promotions. Let's say they want to do a buy 1 entree at regular price, get one of equal or lesser value for free.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to pay for the distribution of that promotion, okay? And then we're also going to have a Black Holiday sauce day where first 25 customers through the door on a specific day will get to leave with a free bottle of Doc Holiday steak sauce. Now, I want to put this in real quick, Mike.
Okay.
I don't know if you know. You haven't seen the new label. We've got a new label. On the side label where that gold star is, we've replaced that with the Intrepid Fallen Heroes Fund logo. Every case that we sell, we donate a percentage of the profits to the Intrepid Fallen Heroes Fund.
Oh, wow.
Which is an organization that helps returning soldiers and soldiers that are already home that have suffered traumatic brain injuries or PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yeah.
So we donate a percentage of the profit from the sale of every case to them. That said, starting this week, we're starting that new restaurant promotion program, and we'll just have to see how it goes. But I feel in my heart of hearts that the investment the restaurant is going to make, they're going to get 3 times that in promotion and advertising out of us.
All right. Have you even thought about even coming up with in a store, you see those displays in the store. Have you even thought about, creating a mega display and just doing it in the store?
Yeah, actually we have a rack that sits on the meat counter at a lot of the independent supermarkets. We haven't broken into the big chains yet, such as Kroger and, Food Lion on your side of the country, but we have broken into a rather large chain in Texas. Have you ever heard of H-E-B?
No.
They're a 370-store chain. We were just approved there. We're actually getting pretty bigger out west than we are in the Midwest, probably from the name. But, we've got a beautiful meat counter display that we use, and we are currently working on a freestanding shipper display that holds 2 to 3 cases. So we've got a lot of stuff in the works, Chef Mike.
Awesome. And in my part of town, in New York, there's a big old brand called Tops Supermarket. Get a hold of them because we always shop at the Tops here in town, and we would be extremely buying your products every time when we go to the store.
Well, it helps, Chef Mike, if you and your listeners, were to go in and ask the managers to carry the product. Word of mouth to us, a retail chain, is worth millions. That that's actually how we got into our first supermarket. Somebody actually went in and asked for the product. 2 days later, the supermarket, and it's actually a 7-store chain, called us, said they wanted it in their store. As soon as it was delivered to their stores, we arranged demos and ran some in-store demos over the weekend, and they're one of our best customers now. Believe me, we've got some very loyal Doc Holliday users.
Well, we're about to bust some chains for you, and we have a few ideas we're going to be sharing with you on the phone and off the phone, of course. And like Raymond said, y'all, word of mouth is very important. So go in your local supermarket or, your other stores thereof, like Food Town and Houston area. Go in that store. I know I have Houston fans. I know I have California fans. I know I have fans all over the place. Go in your local supermarkets and request them to contact Doc Holliday Sauces, because this sauce is not your ordinary sauce. It's sweet, it's sour, and it has that tang. Well, Raymond, currently, how many employees are you currently working in your business?
We have 14. We have 14 sales reps, office people, and myself. All our salespeople are on a straight commission basis, and they're working their butts off. One thing, do you mind if I let your listeners know how to find us on Facebook, Twitter, and our website?
Sure, we was about to bring up that subject. Go ahead and take over.
Okay. Our web address is www.docholliday with 2 L's, sauces.com. Facebook.com/Doc Holliday Sauces. Twitter.com/Doc Holliday Sauces. And I appreciate you having me on, Chef Mike. A very interesting experience.
It's my pleasure, Raymond. And, you can call, me personally at any time, because we need to just get the word out. You started small, now you're big, and it was practically overnight, almost overnight, but you started with good credit. That's what is important.
That is important. Matter of fact, very, very important. Okay.
So, everyone, go get you a bottle of Doc Holliday sauces, or even get you a case of it, because these bottles, it's like you can't just have one little bottle. You have to have a bunch, because everything will go pretty fast at the dinner table.
Chicken, shrimp, marinade, and meatloaf in your hamburgers. It's amazing. I'm a little biased, Chef Mike, but personally, it's an amazing sauce. It really is.
The final question, are you coming out with any more sauces?
Oh, you better believe it. We're going to come out with a bacon and onion steak sauce, but the number one item that we've been working on for the past 4 years is a line of all-natural barbecue sauces with no caramel coloring, no high fructose corn syrup, no MS, completely natural. And beef jerky, of course.
Raymond, you're killing me over here, because my wife and I are big beef jerky fans.
Yeah, we've got a phenomenal recipe, Chef Mike. We've got 3 flavors: applewood smoked, we have a lava, and we have an original. The lava is smoking hot. That's why we call it lava.
I got to remember that when I go to order, because I'm not much of a spicy person, but I will sit there and debate on the sauce, because your sauce is outstanding. No matter what it is just simply outstanding.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Alrighty, this will conclude this awesome interview, and of course we will always invite Raymond back when he releases a brand new sauce or if he has something on his mind, or even a comment, or even a question.
And that was Raymond again. Thank you for coming on the air with us. On the next line, we have Robert Small. We're going to be talking about the food pyramid here very shortly. But first, here's the culinary term of the week. The culinary term of the week is mainly fold, F-O-L-D. Fold means combine mixtures lightly while preserving the loss of air, such as folding beaten egg yolks into the beaten egg whites for a shuffle, or folding liquid into a whipped cream. To fold, gently spoon or pour one mixture over another mixture in a bowl while using a rubber spatula. First cut down vertical into mixtures. Then next slide spatula across the bottom of the bowl and up to the side, turning the bottom mixer over the top mixer. Rotate the bowl 1/4 turn. Repeat this down, across, up motion. Then continue mixing in the way until the mixture is well blended. Alrighty, I'll do something on YouTube about that. And by the way, before we get Robert on the air, remember our podcast that we do, or anything that we do, remember you can go to YouTube. We do everything completely for free around here. We love to educate y'all. So no doubt about it, you're going to be learning a little bit of something from me. So let me get to the telephone and let's talk to Robert Small about the food pyramid on the Culinary Post.
Ladies and gentlemen, on the phone right now, one of my friends that we spoke to recently with his friends David Paul and the others, not David Paul, excuse me, but David Croft. Here's one of my friends named Robert Small. He is he knows what he's talking about when it comes to nutrition, and in this program, even though we're doing the food pyramid, we're going to be talking about the food, grains, and pasta. Welcome to the program, Robert.
Thank you. Mike, let me give a brief overview of my studies since 1965 of the healthy lifestyle. I approach this from a philosophical standpoint, practical philosophy, which is really the investigation of the dynamics and causes of things. So it's not so much scientific, but based on biological facts and in the real world, practical world, about what is good and what isn't. For instance, you're talking about the food pyramid. Well, not all starches are the same. Not all oils are the same. Not all sugars are the same, et cetera, et cetera. So the definition of what is true nutrition is really what we're talking about. So it's important that we understand that we're talking about the state of the food as you prepare it and eat it. It's not just a empty word, because science can sometimes overdo and they get so much into the labels of nutrition that they forget the actual outcome. I think that's the major problem with food studies these days is they have an agenda, they deal with an abstract, and it doesn't always work out for the betterment of people's health. So if you'd like to carry on with the food group, I'd be glad to participate.
All righty. You have a good, solid point there. We want to thank you for that point. A lot of people here in New York, I live in New York, loves Italian food, and, Italian food consists in, pasta.
Right.
I mean, you can't go to bed eating pasta. If your bedtime is at like 10 o'clock and you're eating pasta around 7 or 8, it's going to keep you up half of the night because it's full of, stuff that you don't need to eat late at night.
Right. Spices and processed meats, etc. Any cuisine, Mike, if it's truly from the grassroots now of the people, the country people, is good. Because the problem of commerciality, then that particular cuisine may be perverted. For instance, competing for flavors, and then you put in the artificial flavors, you put too much of this and that. Then you begin to destroy the original cuisine. The Italians have done very well with this over the centuries, so I think it's a great, cuisine. Pasta is simply that you're getting your grains in another form. I don't prefer it. But you see, it's more facilitating to the digestion when you break it down. The trick is, of course, to keep the nutrition intact while you're doing that. That's why I prefer something like brown rice as one of the and corn as the very best of the grains, because they're not broken up before they're ready to eat. The rice is in its natural form. It's encapsulated by nature. When you cook that and you eat it right away, it's as fresh as it possibly could be. And freshness is truly the big bottom line of any kind of cuisine, is to have your food fresh. All these famous chefs that are really, really avant-garde and are famous for their good flavors, and yet at the same time it's healthy for you, now that is an achievement. And anybody that does that, in my opinion, is a hero of the health movement.
I'm grateful I'm part of the health movement, because here at the house I don't use, food that could harm your body. I make substitutions, which is I'm getting into all the healthy foods as far as the whole grains. I just read an article not too long ago, Robert, that really surprised me about the whole grain benefits. And anybody that eats whole grain benefits, probably could, by the way, make less trips to the hospital, because the whole grain benefits, and we can talk about this real fast, can reduce the risk of a stroke probably about maybe 30 to 35%. Also reduce the risk of the type 2 diabetes maybe about 20 to 30%. Also reduce the risk of heart disease 25 to 30%. And reduce the risk of obesity. Is that true?
Yeah, well, statistically, I'm not aware of all these numbers, but I agree that whole grains, freshly done, can certainly keep your blood lean and assist your cholesterol processing. But let me say this. This will give you an insight of my philosophical viewpoint of this, not so much a scientific viewpoint. But I refer to the Bible quite a bit because it substantiates a healthy lifestyle. Jesus was called the bread of life, the staff of life. And, of course, that was alluding to the fact in those days bread was really considered the absolute epitome of healthy food, because it had everything you needed in one thing. It's a full spectrum nutritional thing when it's done right. The problem with modern diet is that they take the wheat germ out of the bread because it'll spoil too quickly, and they can't have that, so they eliminate that. And then they put all these other synthetic vitamins and minerals, hoping that will do some good. But truly, you're better off to do no synthetic vitamins and minerals, because it's very hard on the liver to have to process that. But getting back to your real question, whole grains do another thing that you never hear much about. It creates a food bolus. If it's fresh, there's magnetic quality. This is another thing that people are starting to pick up on. When a food bolus goes through your system with a magnetic strength, in other words, freshness and cohesion of the molecules, it's not dissipated by time, and the second law of thermodynamics, which means that once you've broken it open, it begins to deteriorate. When it goes into your system fresh like that and goes through your alimentary canal, especially the lower colon, it actually draws free radicals and toxins from your blood into the pervious membrane, into the food, and out of the system. This is God's way of getting rid of the massive amount of toxins that are in the system. And if you'll notice, all this takes place in the belly. And the belly, we have an epidemic of Yeah, we have an epidemic of problems with people, with belly fat. Now, the belly fat has a system of cellular system that's designed to just store things, but it'll also store toxins. You see, the body has to do something with those toxins in the blood, so it stores it away and encapsulates it, and then you got the problem of how to get rid of all that. Restraining from food is not working with a lot of people, so they need to change their strategy to get rid of the toxin. Now we can go into all that, but let me come back to what you said about the Italian cuisine. I think that most cuisine have a grain and a legume, if you'll notice. And this is a perfect combination. There was a book by Francis Scott Moore that called The Diet for a Small Planet. It was very famous, and it was combinations of foods. You had the completion of the amino acids. Perhaps you know about that. But if you'll notice, these things gravitate after a while, and people do it for many centuries because it works. So the old saying, don't mess around with something if it works. And all my major point is, we don't have to make all this confusing and complicated, but keep your food fresh and whole, and all will be well with the food. Fresher the better. Yes, sir. The fresher the better.
I don't really buy canned foods because I know they're full of junk. We love to spend extra 10 cents on fresh produce at the store than buy the 99-cent can on the shelf.
Just for a bit of trivia, Napoleon's engineers invented the canned food for rations. That's exactly who invented the can that they used to open up and get their food from, straight out of the can, and it's been happening ever since. But it's only meant, Mike, as a temporary stopgap if you're traveling or if you're on the move and you can't cook. It's all it is. Frankly, bread the same way. The Roman army that was so strong, they didn't eat bread unless they had to. They cooked the porridge on the scene because it was fresher and it was healthier. People should cook the grain in the morning. Don't eat these prepackaged cereals unless you have to or you can't help it. But if it's freshly cooked and eaten right away, then you got your freshness. And that's where the life is. The life is in the freshness. The more you cook it, the more you dissipate it. As another bit of trivia, a tomato loses 75% of its vitamin C in 24 hours. And, of course, it slows down the loss, of course. But okay. But that's the main point, is to understand that we lose so much of our vitality. And if we eat anemic food, we're going to be anemic.
So, ladies and gentlemen, try to stay away from the foods that's not healthy. But this is the reason why we're doing this, the few episodes I'm doing about, the healthy food eating, including, the food pyramid. During these few episodes, healthy eating is what's, what I say on Facebook, best for business. Plus exercising on top of that. So don't spend majority of the time sitting down, rather eating. Make some time to, go to the gym or go jog on the side of the street or something to work off some of that stuff that's within that food or get it pumping through your blood.
I lived in Manhattan for a while, a small amount of time, and I remember how hard it was to find good, fresh food. It was very difficult. Farmers markets, people ought to give them business and let them grow. If people would only take time out and go to those markets, even in New York, they would flourish, and they'd have more and more access to good, fresh food. But getting to the other half of healthy lifestyle is the exercise. This is a very big subject. Tai Chi is probably the very best of all forms of energy output. The Orientals have been doing it for centuries, and they perfected it. It's a magnificent way to get your full spectrum exercise. But another very good thing is walking. I don't consider jogging as near as good as walking, because you become a human pump pushing all that blood and getting your circulation. It steps up the metabolism. It gets the organs going. It's a wonderful thing to take a walk in the morning. It'll change anybody's life if they go from sedentary to walking. Even if you have to walk 10 feet just to start out and then build on it, it's wonderful how the body will get used to it, and you find yourself walking further and further distance, and it's a form of freedom. You know, people are very, very overwhelmed by this the powers that be. A lot of fear going on about what's going to happen in the future. We all feel so parameterized. But a walk in the morning will free you and revitalize your attitude and inspires you like nothing else. And you can walk and you can talk and you can listen to something on the tape or the CD. I mean, what more could you ask for a shot of freedom in the morning is to take a walk?
He's taking himself, Mike. He didn't say nothing about an iPod or an iPhone.
Yeah,
we don't know what a tape is or a CD anymore, do we, brother?
Oh, my. Well, I'll have to catch up. I can see that. But the thing about the access to good food is the farmers market is really a phenomenon that's picking up. You know what the real bottom line is? This is a great time to be alive because if you go to the right store like Whole Foods, you know, you can get food there that a king couldn't get. I mean, there's so many different diversifications and smorgasbord of choices of food. It's mind-boggling. Unfortunately, it costs money and a lot of it. That's the bad news. But you know, to eat right, you really, really don't have to spend a lot of money. You can go to the grains, which are reasonable. They're about the cheapest form of food. But one of the combinations I've found is a real winner is brown rice and lentil beans. I mean, it's a fabulous combination. And throw a little cornbread in there, and you'd be surprised how good it tastes, and it satisfies. And now, if you notice the Oriental people, especially the Japanese, they have a certain calm and serenity to them. They have a good, strong output of mental thought, and they're very high achievers. And all that. I say a lot of that is because of their diet. They're the longest-lived people that I know of in the world, and of the manufactured world, not in the country world. But they have a cuisine that's tied to a lot of grain and a lot of vegetables, and they cook it with as low as heat as they can. And that would be a good study for somebody if they want to check out different kinds of cuisines to gravitate to. One of the reasons why it's so hard to get people to change their diet and get away from this and realize that they can actually do something for their health by what they eat, because the diet has a massive effect on your health, more than anything else. You can do herbs, you can do pills, but if you do the wrong diet, it really doesn't do that much good. So the diet is the key. But there's a lot of freedom in this country to do what diet you want, just like there's a lot of freedom to do what exercise program you want. There's so many kinds of different exercises you can do. Dancing, paddling, running, swimming, games, ball games, throwing games. There's all kinds of things for everybody. And, of course, Tai Chi. But I'm just saying that freedom is the bottom line of looking to the healthy lifestyle. And why should you weigh yourself down? Why should you be satisfied with the low-grade health, having colds, having sickness, having sore muscles, and lameness here and there, and things you could overcome? So I say to all your listeners, get out there and check it out on the computer, the internet, and ask questions, and you'd be surprised what you can learn, and write it down. I have what I call a menu book. When I discover a meal that I really enjoy, I like to write it down so I won't have to sit there and wonder, gee, what should I eat? A personal menu book is an idea that whose time has come.
And your cravings can be divinely inspired, as God created your body as a natural healer. And so when your body is low on metabolism, chances are that you'll crave bananas. When it's low on iron and stuff, you'll begin to crave potatoes or cauliflower, and they're just the plethora of things that God put inside your spirit to remain healthy are absolutely amazing. So, but you've also got some listeners out there that have injuries that prevent them from being able to exercise or walk, so what you want to say to them is lower your calorie intake and increase your purified way of drinking, such as water, and don't drink the concentrated juices that are full of sugars and high fructose corn syrup. So you have to limit your intake if you're not able to exercise much. So I see a lot of people with leg injuries, knee injuries, back injuries, and such, and I counsel with them on a daily basis, a lot of them. And so, you have to find ways that you can work around it. Now, my friend just came by and visited me the other day, and he's lost 253 pounds on his journey back to health from 802 pounds. So we're really excited about what God's doing in his life and how he's learning to eat things. But it's discipline because you have so much freedom here, and every now and then he catches himself wanting a Boston cream pie.
Yeah.
So
welcome to the show.
He was honest.
That's a beautiful point right there. We have so much choices, Mike, that really that's where discipline has to come in. Now, where do you start? Where can you stop this momentum of a runaway appetite?
What's the Coca-Cola down?
Yeah. I have a chapter in a book I'm writing. It's called The God-Given Appetite. Now, God has put into us a natural appetite, which is the sum total of the body's need. This is a kind of like a very vast thing that's going on in the body. It's not just one little item. It's the whole body's memory bank. And what it is that we either overstimulate that appetite or we depress it. It happens psychologically, and it also happens physically, where we eat too much sugar. That'll destroy our appetite. All this avalanche of commercial food by people who are making food have no interest in your health. They just try to make it taste good at whatever it takes. Yeah, it's all mercenary. The fast food restaurants, I noticed that they put a big emphasis on the fragrance of the food, if you'll notice. And people remember that when they open that bag, and, man, they want to keep doing it. So they're, like, addicted. Americans are the most addicted nation in the world, probably in history. And you have to break that momentum of that and make a stopping place. One of the best ways I know that is like maybe a 10-hour fast, drinking a lot of water, and then slowly you begin to realize what you really want to eat. It's like a fog. You've heard the chemical fog that is induced by pharmaceuticals. Well, this can happen also with food, where you start to get a runaway appetite with the Twinkies and Boston cream pies and Coca-Cola. It can just destroy your sensitivity to what your body needs. So people really need to just have the knowledge of this to begin with. The Bible says, my people perish for want of knowledge. If they would just realize that you can do something about their health, it's in your power to do that. Unfortunately, a lot of the health industry people are trying to give you the impression that it's just your bad luck. That you unfortunately you have diabetes because you were the one that was inherited. Yeah, you inherited, and it's just your bad luck. Well, it's true that people have a genetic weakness for something, but it doesn't mean they actually need to have it. It means they got to pay attention. That means they have to be very careful about their sugars. But the safe thing is to make sure you don't eat any cooked sugars. If you can keep that in mind as a guidepost, then like raw honey, fruits of all types. There's a lot of carrots. There's vegetables that are sweet. There's plenty of places to get you sweet, but to break away from the fast food industry and the sweet baked goods, it takes a lot of courage, a lot of discipline. But there are people that can inspire them. They need to just check out what's available.
Alrighty, we're running out of time on this episode. but we want to introduce the next episode just to give them a little teaser, because I want to bring both of y'all back or probably add more into the, conversation. Our next episode's about the fruits and vegetables. And that's loaded down with vitamins and everything that you need. Can you give us a little teaser?
Yeah, in moving into that realm, we need to teach people how to prepare fresh foods without taking all the nutrients out of them. And the fresh fruits, if you can possibly afford organic fruit, don't go to the store and buy a fruit cocktail in a can. You're not going to get any health benefit from that. But if you can go get a fresh pineapple and cut that pineapple open, I want people to understand the health benefits that are in just pineapple alone and the effects that it can have on the tissues and the organs and even your skin, and how beneficial almonds are for your body, just the nut almond. And so as a teaser, let's just leave people in suspense and doing their own research and finding out the health benefits alone of pineapple. And there's one fruit that we can't get in the United States anymore. It's called the guanabano, either way you want to say it. And it has 3,300 medicinal properties in it. And one of the first things that it destroys in a body is cancerous cells, disease cells. And so if we can get people educated and get people to begin to cry out and to really realize what we need to change the health benefits of Americans, and they begin to storm and begin to stop the attack that's happened on our food chain, and we can get these products back in here, because it's grown in Australia, Puerto Rico, Costa Rica, and also in Mexico. And you would think, well, it's grown in Puerto Rico, why can't we get it here? Because the USDA will not let them bring it up into the main parts of the states. So, the American people need to be educated, and they need to know what's going on with their diet, brother.
Just one more thing, Mike. This is like a tag team, and I really get a lot of inspiration from David's sayings here. There are people in your audience who are desperate. They don't realize it. But once they start to hear this and realize the truth, that they can, first of all, do something for themselves, for their health, and then when we start to mention things that they can, that are very practical, like you just said, go to the produce section of the store and get the fresh pineapple and learn how to do it. And once they learn how to do it,
discovering how to cut one up in quarters.
Yeah, and it will be like a whole new world, and it'll revitalize their life like it did me. See, I learned all this too, and it was when I found out that I could do something about my own health, man, I've never been the same. It's been a wonderful thing. So that's what our mission is, to inform those who need to know.
And thank you for that interview, Robert Small, and we'll get you back on the show for more conversation. We have breaking news coming out of California right now. California company recalls pickled products due to possible botulism risk. The California Department of Public Health has warned customers or consumers on Thursday not to eat the Harrisburg Pickle Company jarred food products because they might be improperly produced, making them very susceptible for contamination with botulism. If you eat this stuff, it could cause some serious illness or death, so don't take the risk. The recalled food products were only sold at the Cheese Shop at 423 Center Street in Hattiesburg, California, Perry's Deli at 12301 Sir Francis Drake Boulevard in Everest Park, California. Alrighty, these food products were sold under the Hattiesburg Pickle Company label and packaged in quart and pint glass jars with the screwed-on metal lids. Alrighty, you can find more information on their website right now at Culinarypost.info. Advertisements on the website. We gotta make some money up in here, keep everything going. I mean, nothing ain't free. We got bills we gotta pay, a light bill to keep on going, phone bill to, keep interviewing people, the cable bill to keep on, broadcasting the way we are. So, with that said, if you have an event coming up, or if you own a small or large business and you just want to get the word out, we do have a set package for you. Listen here, it's very reasonable prices. We're not going to cheat you, but very reasonable prices. So if you need more information, you can contact me at chefmikepalmer@gmail.com. Alrighty. Now here's the question, and coming up next I have a very, very awesome blockbuster announcement, really two more, but first here's a question. When the breakfast joint calls for a 2 and 2, what does 2 and 2 mean? It means 2 slices of bacon and 2 slices of sausage. Now the blockbuster announcement. Starting on June the 17th, you will be able to download the 30-minute podcast by doing the iTunes search for Culinary Post. And also, it will be on my own, what you download the show on right now, under Chef Mike Palmer. The 30-minute show will consist in the restaurant news, food recalls, and much more. Remember, you will be able to download it every Tuesday at 8 a.m. Remember, all podcasts is free of charge. But if you like what you hear, please donate, to help us out to grow a little bit more bigger into our next blockbuster announcement. You already know about the first one is a TV station. The second one is the podcast, the 30-minute podcast, set for the 17th. The third blockbuster announcement. We're shaking the grounds here because we want to open up a internet radio station that's live 24/7. Nothing about food. It's all going to be about food topics. Alright, even restaurant news and food recalls. You name it, we're going to have it. So, if you like what you hear and like what you see on the website and on YouTube and everywhere else, we urge you, we're asking you to donate what you can to keep us going. I'm not going to turn this into a telethon or a donate a fund, whatever. We just need y'all's help. Nothing ain't free around here, okay? Remember, Father's Day is on Sunday, so go to hollidaysauces.com and get you that awesome steak sauce. Or go to your local store. If they don't have it in the store, ask for it. Hey, it tops the steak pretty good, guys. Your dad will be amazed. It's a good Father's Day present. Alrighty. If you have any questions about the Doc Holiday sauce, please let me know. We're here for you. We'll answer your question, and we will definitely refer you to Doc Holiday sauces. Okay. Remember, daily we post restaurant news, food recalls, and other need-to-know information on the website on Culinarypost.info. If you miss anything, remember we have an archive up. That's up 24/7 days, 24/7. Remember, we have a YouTube channel going on. You can learn off of that channel. Our staff spends day and night trying to create some ideas, and we're going to go for it. What you see on the YouTube channel might be on the TV. So, we're just starting out small, and we're going to work up to big, and we're going to get it done for you guys. You can find our previous podcast on there. Season 1's on there. Going on Season 2, coming up very shortly. You can also find some lessons that I've personally taught myself. So, it's very educational. And I hope you visit the YouTube channel every week or so. Plus, we have our Culinary Post TV channel. It's up, but we're not live yet, but it's up. You You can find some educational stuff on there. But lastly, please like our page on Facebook. It's CAEC Post. Like that page, and like my Twitter, Chef Mike Palm. That's Chef Mike PALM. Anyways, good night, everybody. We will see you Tuesday at 8 o'clock in the morning with your weekend restaurant news and food recalls and much more entertainment that could help you out later down the road. Again, podcast Tuesday, downloadable for free, 8 a.m. Okay? That's it for me. I will see you next week. My awesome wife is just around the corner. We're about to head on to bed. It's been a busy week here at the Culinary Post. We'll see you next week. The 1 hour special, Fridays at 8 a.m. downloadable. Alrighty, see you then, and have a great day.